Welcome to the Continental Current. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more updates and thrilling short scenes. Just a few years ago, many thought Huawei's story was over. Hit by crippling US sanctions and cut off from Google's Android services, the company's future looked bleak. Analysts predicted a slow decline, expecting Huawei to fade into obscurity. But instead of collapsing, Huawei staged a stunning comeback. Today, in late 2025, Huawei is thriving, with revenues soaring to $118 billion, a 22% jump from the previous year. The company didn't just survive, it reinvented itself, becoming a symbol of technological defiance. At the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Huawei's presence was bold and confident, showcasing next-gen smartphones and intelligent driving systems. The narrative shifted from survival to renewed dominance. Huawei's journey is more than a corporate turnaround, it's a shift in the global tech landscape. The company's transformation is a lesson in innovation born from necessity. Political pressure fueled the very competition it sought to contain. Backed into a corner, Huawei built its own way out. This is the story of defiance, ingenuity, and the creation of a new technological order. The world is now a different place because of it. Huawei's resurgence is visible everywhere, forcing the world to take notice. What began as a fight for survival has become a blueprint for global tech resilience. The Titan has been reborn. The crisis began in 2019, when the US government placed Huawei on the entity list, citing national security concerns. The most devastating blow was the loss of Google mobile services. No Play Store, Gmail, or YouTube on new Huawei phones outside China. For many consumers, this was a deal-breaker. But the sanctions went deeper, cutting Huawei off from American hardware suppliers like Qualcomm and Intel. The goal: cripple Huawei's supply chain and halt its rise. International smartphone sales plummeted, and revenues declined for the first time in years. The US also pressured allies to ban Huawei's 5G equipment, painting the company as a security risk. Huawei faced a war on multiple fronts: software, hardware, and public relations. The world watched, expecting a quick collapse, but the architects of this policy underestimated Huawei's resolve. Instead of falling, Huawei began to fight back. The company was isolated, but not defeated. The sanctions were meant to be a knockout blow. Instead, they sparked a transformation. Huawei was pushed to the edge but refused to fall. Losing Google's Android could have ended Huawei's smartphone ambitions. Instead, the company doubled down on its own operating system, HarmonyOS. Originally designed for smart devices, HarmonyOS became the heart of Huawei's phones. Building a new software ecosystem was a massive gamble. But by 2025, HarmonyOS powers nearly 1 billion devices. Huawei aggressively courted developers, especially in China, and major tech companies built native apps for the platform. The real breakthrough came with HarmonyOS Next in 2021. Built entirely on Huawei's own kernel, severing ties with Android. This was more than a workaround, it was a declaration of independence. HarmonyOS is now a true third pillar in the global OS market. The Information Technology and Innovation Foundation predicts HarmonyOS will steadily erode Android and Windows market share. What began as a defensive move has become a powerful offensive weapon. US sanctions inadvertently created a formidable new competitor. Huawei built its own boat in the storm, and now it's ready to sail globally. The company's software ecosystem is thriving, especially in its home market. HarmonyOS is challenging the dominance of American software. Huawei's innovation has turned adversity into opportunity. The world is watching as a new tech ecosystem rises. The hardware challenge was even greater than software. Huawei's devices were packed with American components, so the company launched a massive effort to replace every US-sourced part. By 2023, Huawei had swapped out over 13,000 American components and redesigned 4,000 circuit boards. The Mate 60 smartphone, launched in late 2023, featured a domestically produced 7nm processor, shocking the world. Despite US efforts, Huawei and China found ways to produce advanced chips at home. Huawei's innovation extended to AI hardware, with its Ascend chips rivaling NVIDIA's offerings. The company even developed its own AI accelerator to replace NVIDIA's H20 chip. Huawei isn't just catching up, it's setting new standards in some areas. The drive for technological sovereignty has made Huawei stronger and more resilient. The company rebuilt its supply chain, turning to domestic and non-American suppliers. Sanctions meant to cripple Huawei instead fueled its transformation. Now Huawei stands as a self-reliant tech powerhouse. Huawei's comeback is most visible in the smartphone market. In 2024, sales surged 50%, driven by the Mate 60 series and homegrown Kirin chips. Chinese consumers embraced the new devices, propelling Huawei to reclaim the number 2 spot in China, surpassing Apple. The Google ban, once a major obstacle, is now less relevant. Outside China, retailers offer Huawei phones with Google apps pre-installed, showing the limits of the ban. Demand for Huawei's hardware is so strong that the market finds ways around restrictions. Huawei's flagship phones and consumer electronics are now celebrated for innovation and quality. The company has evolved into a diversified premium tech brand. Huawei has proven it can thrive without American tech. Its products are now world-class and in high demand. US sanctions aim to protect America's tech edge, but evidence shows the opposite effect. Instead of crippling Huawei, the sanctions made it stronger and more self-sufficient. American companies paid a steep price, losing over $33 billion in sales to Huawei between 2021 and 2024. This lost revenue could have fueled US research and development. Instead, Huawei redirected its purchasing power to new suppliers, building a rival tech ecosystem. The long-term cost is even greater. The US accelerated China's drive for tech independence. Now, American firms face a Chinese giant making its own advanced chips. The sanctions became a multi-billion-dollar subsidy for China's semiconductor industry. Policymakers underestimated China's ability to innovate under pressure. The policy failed to stop Huawei and eroded America's competitive advantage. The US has lost market share and now faces a stronger rival. Experts argue future export controls must be coordinated with allies. The go-it-alone approach has proven costly, a self-inflicted wound in the global tech race. Huawei's transformation goes far beyond smartphones. The company is expanding into intelligent vehicles, providing smart driving solutions now in over 500,000 cars. By partnering with automakers like GAC Group, Huawei is shaping the future of mobility. Huawei is also investing heavily in cloud computing and digital infrastructure, challenging American giants in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. This diversification makes Huawei more resilient and multifaceted. The US campaign to isolate Huawei has largely failed outside its closest allies. Today, over 3.2 billion people live in countries using Huawei's 5G equipment. Western telecom makers risk being outcompeted by Huawei and ZTE in much of the world. The world is splitting into separate tech spheres, one American, one Chinese. Huawei's journey is a saga of resilience and transformation. The attempt to break the company only made it stronger. Huawei now stands as a self-reliant, diversified tech giant. A new global tech order is emerging with Huawei at its forefront.